He says he's going to go to Korea and slap a member of BTS on his trip.
And I like your attention to detail.
And when Johnny first landed in Korea, things seemed to be going well as fans thought that he would try to respect their culture.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Let him get up.
Here I come. Oh, here I come.
Like that. Good time. Whoa! Fight back.
Hey, what it do? It's your boy from the zoo. You in the building. You're welcome.
Thanks, Daddy.
It seems like your boy Johnny Somali finally got what was coming to him. Let's roll the clip.
American live streamer Johnny Somali, who had caused an uproar in South Korea with his outrageous acts, such as kissing the Statue of Peace, was sentenced to 6 months in prison. On Wednesday, the Seoul Western District Court sentenced him to 6 months in prison and 20 days of detention on charges including obstruction of business and distribution of fake obscene materials. The court also meted out a 5-year employment restriction banning him from working at institutions related to children and people with disabilities. The ruling comes about a year and 6 months after he caused public outrage during his travels in Korea. Johnny Somali was first put on trial in October 2024 for allegedly obstructing business operations at a convenience store in Mapo District, Seoul, by playing loud music and pouring instant noodles onto a table after an employee stopped him from drinking alcohol.
Hold on, pause for a second. All right, for those of you guys that don't know much about Johnny Somali is technically a nuisance that's been going into other foreign countries and actually misrepresenting Americans by being overly obnoxious and disrespecting their cultures, their politics, and their spiritual systems.
Flag on the play.
He went to Israel, got locked up, and got kicked out of Israel. Then he went to China, did the same exact thing. Get locked up, then got kicked out of China. So what he chose to do was go to South Korea next. And when he went to South Korea, literally disrespected the people's soil.
The same month, he was also accused of causing discomfort in public by approaching multiple pedestrians while carrying a bag of odorous raw fish, playing loud music, and dancing on buses and subways. During his travels in Korea, he even uploaded a video of himself kissing the Statue of Peace in Itaewon and performing a lewd dance in front of the monument.
When it comes to that restaurant situation, he was actually cursing that woman out and also cursing out other people that were telling him that he needed to chill out. That's another thing that they left out of that situation. It wasn't just, oh, he was throwing noodles and pouring out the water and drinking alcohol in public and stuff like that. He was actually being super disrespectful.
Lock his ass up!
This act in particular has been seen as being extremely disrespectful, as the statue symbolizes the suffering of Korean women who were used as sexual slaves during Japan's occupation of Korea in the first half of the 20th century. Such outlandish behavior at the time drew huge backlash from Korean netizens, and Somali got attacked multiple times on the streets by Korean YouTubers.
Because the South Korean people end up putting a bounty on his head. So there were people literally gunning for him. Whenever they seen him on the streets, they'll just walk up to him, slap him, punch him in the face, kick him, things like that, because they were being compensated. Some people might get a free meal. Some people would get a hotel room.
Wait a minute.
Some people might get bailed out. It was just all over.
What the f is going on here?
Some of them actually did it just off GP because he disrespected the South Korean culture.
Wait, first of all, you're not going to speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
American live streamer later expressed regret over his past actions and publicly apologized. However, shortly after he made an apology, more charges were leveled against him, such as distributing a deepfake video of him kissing a Korean female streamer.
This motherfucker.
The apology that he actually gave was a backhanded apology, so he would turn around and say that he apologized, but then in the same breath, say psych.
Come on now, dog.
And continue to disrespect the people.
Come on, man.
In March last year, Somali appeared at the court for his first hearing wearing a red Make America Great Again hat. When asked why he was wearing the hat, he said, "Because I'm an American citizen and South Korea is a vassal state of the United States," sparking further controversy. Then in July last year, during his live stream, Somali waved the Japanese rising sun flag, saying Japan should reoccupy South Korea and refer to Tokyo as Takeshima, the Japanese name for the Korean islands in the East Sea. After repeatedly engaging in such outrageous acts, Johnny Somali is currently on trial in Korea on 7 charges that includes breaking the Minor Offences Act. A departure ban was placed on him, preventing him from leaving Korea. Prosecutors had earlier demanded 3 years in prison and a fine of 150,000 won for the American streamer. Meanwhile, both Somali and the prosecutor's office can appeal the case.
Actually, I know for a fact I'm not gonna go to jail. Not one day in jail. I'm gonna laugh my off when all these are saying I'm going for 30 years, 20 years, 5 years, 10 years. Bro, I'm telling you, I'm not even gonna do one day, bro. They're gonna give me a fine. They're gonna say, don't come back to Korea. You're
The irony, huh? We gotta love it.
You're the one who's gonna look so dumb when I don't get any
How you look now?
jail time or anything. Bro, I'm gonna laugh like a villain.
Are you laughing now? How you like those apples? The irony.
Johnny Somali, aka Ramzi Khalid Ismail, has been sentenced to 6 months and 20 days in prison with labor in Seoul, South Korea today. We're going to get that today on The Legal Mindset. We teach you to be around judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney who's been tracking this from beginning to end. And today we're going to break out the exact reasons for the guilty plea, his imprisonment, his sentence, and what happens next. So let's get into what happened today in Seoul, South Korea. So first of all, to just get to my opening statements, Ramzi Khalid Ismail, aka Johnny Somali, was found guilty on all 8 charges. So there were 4 counts of business obstruction, 2 counts of the Minor Crimes Act, and 2 counts of the deepfake distribution. Guilty on all charges. He was sentenced to 6 months in prison with labor, an additional 20 days of detention, and 5 years of offender status with.
Hey, FYI, I hope you guys know that basically where he's going to is the chain gang. Straight laborious. Straight laborious. He's not even built for that because I'm pretty sure he ain't been working out doing anything physical.
His phones being permanently confiscated. But how did we get there? Well, we got there through a team effort. So how did the trial start? Well, the trial started packed with observers. Now, the judge did remain the same throughout the trial. Now, the prosecutor did change in the spring from the older male prosecutor that was there before to a new female prosecutor, which was there today in this case. Now, what happened? Well, first, there was the guilty portion, because first they had to assess the guilt, because Ramzi had pled guilt on 6 of the charges, the business obstruction and the Minor Crimes Act, but still reasserted his non-guilty plea regarding the deepfakes. So the judge found Somali guilty on the deepfakes, as we predicted he would, because a reasonable person of the age and gender of the victims would experience shame at the deepfakes.
In South Korea, and I think in China too, but don't quote me on that part. But I know South Korea definitely. What he did was he photoshopped making out with that female. It wasn't real. And what she did was she went down to the actual courthouse and decided to press charges on him. So that's how that case came to be.
The judge then went on to say, okay, you're guilty, now let's talk about sentencing. And he said, in his opinion, there were both mitigating and aggravating factors for the sentencing of Somali. So the mitigating factors that he explained in this case were for that victims Youngman and Hank Yu did not want Somali to be punished. And there has been a settlement with Youngman that they tried to get the charges dropped. So they weren't dropped, but the judge did say he did factor that in for mitigation. They also said that victim Bong Bong did not experience severe shame or embarrassment. And had she experienced more severe embarrassment, perhaps there would be a more harsh punishment.
Wait a damn minute.
Women in South Korea have been stating, when it comes to them and crime, a lot of things get overlooked when it comes to the government. This is not my opinion. This is stuff that I have watched when it comes to Korean channels on YouTube, females, and how they say there's injustice going on out there. So you see how they diminished her experience. Her experience is her experience. She did not want to be plastered over anything looking like she's making out with a guy that she's not even in a relationship with.
They also said, and this is very interesting, that the travel ban and the inability to return home were technical disadvantages for Somali. That was very curious to me because if he had been allowed to leave and go home, he clearly would have not come back and not faced any punishment, never gone to jail. He would have just not come back to Korea. However, he did bring up aggravating factors. The aggravating factors he brought up were that Somali repeatedly committed crimes primarily for YouTube revenue and broadcasted these with no regard for the victim. He also said that Somali showed clear disregard for Korean law. And this is something he understood from the files that we, myself and the Somali conviction team, submitted to them, showing that he didn't care about Korean law, he disrespected the judge, the prosecutor, and really the Korean system at large. He said that the Korean system is an absolute joke, and because of that, he wanted to show how much of a joke it was. Somali is angry about this. He has to appeal from jail. So while he'll be in jail, he'll be serving that time. By the time he would appeal it for saying it's too severe, well, his term will probably be up. He'll probably be at the end of his sentence where he's already served that prison labor. Now, the bailiff did escort Somali out after that, after they explained the chance for appeal, the 7 days for appeal. His possessions were taken. Somali seemed to be prepared to go to jail as he brought a full backpack with all of his things, and he was handcuffed immediately and taken to a side room where he'll be bussed over to the detention center, and they'll eventually decide which prison to send him to. After Somali left the room and we saw him be, taken off and handcuffed, all the observers left. Now, Korean media was waiting outside, and myself, others, Atozi, we were interviewed about how we felt about it, and we gave our true opinion, which is we are happy that he was proven wrong, but we think that he deserved more time there.
Hey, only thing I'm gonna tell him is don't drop the soap because these motherfuckers gonna put all type of egg. You heard? I'm sorry, pause.
Also asked us if we were talking as YouTubers or Americans or whatever, and I answered that we're talking as people interested in the truth, and we're interested in revealing the Korean court process and getting the truth out there, both to Korea, Americans, everybody, and making sure he serves the time that he should serve and he's punished appropriately. So here's my judgment. Somali was proven wrong when he said, "I promise you I won't spend 1 day in jail."
Facts.
I know for a fact I'm not gonna go to jail. Not 1 day in jail.
I'm gonna show you guys how far I can push the boundaries, and I'm gonna show you that the Korean government is not gonna do anything for me. The Korean legal system is not as strong as people think and perceive it to be.
It makes me very, very happy that Somali was once again proven wrong on that. We also have the CHS, child sexual harassment charges, that are still floating out there in the Eastern District. We're going to be encouraging that district to bring those charges because those charges can be brought while Somali is in jail, and that could result in him being in Korea for an even longer time. But I want to know what you guys think about this final judgment about 6 months, 20 days in jail.
All right. Now, with that being said, play a stupid game, you're going to win a stupid prize. For anybody else that's planning on going overseas, please, when you touch down on those people, so respect the boundaries. You're a guest in their house. If you're going to go live, don't be obnoxious. Show the beautiful scenery of the environment that's around you. Show the beautiful people that are there. Show the beautiful food that you're eating. Show that you're living your best life. It'll make other people want to go out there and live their best life too. Outside of that, he wanted to push the boundaries, and guess what? The boundaries pushed back. Y'all opinions are y'all opinions, and if you think that he should get more than 6 months, drop it down in a comment. I'm about to get up out of here. You dig what I'm saying? Hey, what are you doing? Before you leave, don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. I know 90% of y'all are watching this right now, and y'all